Well, good Tuesday. How are you? I'm a little late today. Um, been busy trying to catch up. And quite honestly, um, it's harder to do things when you're one handed. I got one hand and one that doesn't work. You should see me typing. I'm down here like this, trying to type and keep things going at the same time. So, yeah, it's been a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. I guess you never think what's going to happen when you break a bone, and if you've never done it before, you don't really know what to expect. And so kind of a type A kind of guy, and I just want everything to be back to normal, and that's not going to happen for a while. I go in tomorrow to have that taken off. They'll take this part off and hopefully give me something that I can put on or take off a little bit more and do stuff. But it really kind of messes with your head, because you're used to being you're used to being somebody who's active and doing stuff, and this is greatly restricting. I guess what it is for me, kind of the whole thing is, I don't want to get political, and I'm not trying to get. It would be nice if we could just in this world we live in. I just want to have an open conversation. I wish that I could live in a place where I didn't have to think twice before I say anything. For me, the COVID thing, there's a lot of restrictions on my life, and I'm not used to being restricted. And I'm not saying it's not, it's not see, there I go. I'm trying to backpedal because I know how people perceive this stuff. I had somebody come on my page this morning and say, I was doing the Colleen. I went and did hyperbaric therapy, and somebody came on my Instagram page and just like in a real snotty, snide little way said, something about, oh, interesting how you are so, shocked. So I can't remember how this person put it, but so excited about science and yet you don't believe science. It's people drawing conclusions from their own bias of what they think it should be. But for me, just personally, if I'm just going to talk, yeah, Kim, I could have had a much more serious injury. But it's really painful. I mean, I'm not a puss when it comes to pain, but it's the throbbing that just drives me crazy. It just kind of at night. I like to travel and it just kind of throbs, and so then it plays on your mind and gets you kind of. It just gets you, kind of in a weird space. So yesterday, my wife and I had a meeting with our business coach, and I was just a little ass. I was really not happy. And she said, "You know what, Rick, you got to find a way to just talk about, do positive things, find ways to." How did she word that? God, where did I know I wrote that down. Hold on. So here's the question. How do you orchestrate your own sanity? Suck it up. Yeah, Pat, thanks. It's not even that. It's like, it's just a lot with that. This on top of being restricted in what I can do and where I can go, and people staring at me when I don't have a mask on. And after a while, you just get so tired of it, and people just seem so angry. And yeah, Rick, I am too. And so but the healing process is so slow. And so I haven't been, I just haven't been in the mood. I've been doing my shows and stuff, but like I just haven't been in the mood to uh, do our happy hour show because it's kind of like, um, hey Thomas, good luck today. I don't live in Eugene or Springfield, so I can't vote for a mayoral candidate or anything. So you didn't get my vote, but I don't have a vote anyway. um, yeah, cannabis creams for the inflammation. I go to the doctor tomorrow, and so I'm hoping they cut this off and then put me in a more manageable cast. No, I get it, Patrick. I know. And I'm not trying to just bitch. I'm just saying it's a total mind game. And yeah, I know it's so easy, Dana, but you know what? I'm such a fucking target. Yeah, I'm just such a target. And that's my own doing. And I'm fine with that. Because you know what? I don't think Rick wants to talk with me. He wouldn't before when I tried. Clara, I'm fine talking to you. I don't want to talk about people using my picture. And I know that's what happened with you. And if I did that, Clara, just so you know, I just want you to understand something. Yours is I've had 10 this week. It's Tuesday. If I spent time talking to every single person who got took because somebody was using my picture out there, I would have no life and I'd have no job. So it's nothing against you, Clara. I just don't have, and I know what they do, and I've turned them in. I spend thousands of dollars a year trying to get people to stop these people. But I can't take the time out of my life to talk to every person that this happens to. And I'm really sorry about that. I wish I could change that for people. I mean, I think that's I had someone come on my page the other day and say, I don't think you should be talking about politics. You should just be talking about positive stories. It's like, so I don't get to be me, that's kind of, I think what COVID-19, I don't want to get it, but I'm not afraid of it. What scares me the most about this is what it's doing to people and us as a community and as friends and loved ones. And I am just, it saddens me greatly because I think we can survive. Most of us, we can survive COVID-19. I don't know how well we're going to survive all the animosity, the judgment, the people, the assumptions people make. I understand science and I'm fine with the science, but I also understand there's a whole political game going on. In addition, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you know what? That doesn't mean I don't believe that things can't turn into a conspiracy. But why can't I just talk about that? Why can't I just say that and not be, have people? So I don't care. I mean, I honestly do not sit and worry about what people think at night. What I have to know is what I'm speaking is what I understand to be the truth. And oh God, Tom, that's horrible. Leota, things happen for a reason, maybe. Yeah, Kathy and I tonight are going to talk about that. There's a really cool story that goes along with this broken wrist. And we're going to do it together because it's a story about us and our life. And so I don't want to take time here to ruin that, but we're going to do that tonight at 6:00 right here on our happy hour show. And I think that should be really interesting. So have to continue this happening. Yeah. So let's kind of stick to what's going on. So how do you orchestrate your own sanity? I would love to see some suggestions from you guys. Um, how do you what do you do to stay above the fray, um, to not get um, you know sucked in, and how do you manage? I would love to know that. We need your words and openness. We're all in this together. That's an interesting saying, Scott. I like you, man. You're awesome. Have a lot of people tell me we're in this together. I think we're all. This is just my thought, and I'm not correcting you. Okay, we're all in this. I don't know that we're together. Um, there's too many different ways this is impacting people. There's some people who are getting a paycheck right now, and they're in this, so they're going to see it in one perspective. And then there's other people who are losing everything, and they're going to see it in another perspective. And there's people who are sick with the virus, and they're going to see it in another perspective. Or people who are afraid of getting sick with the virus because they are susceptible or have family members who are susceptible. So they're going to see it a different way. I guess what bothers me is that I don't think so, Mark. More socially responsible. And I'm not picking on you. When I say stuff like that, you guys, I'm not saying you're wrong and blah blah blah. I think I don't think we're going to learn that. I don't think so. I don't have a lot of hope that that humanity is going to. We talk about being kind, and yet the very people that are talking about being kind are then nasty to each other. I don't think we hear the way we sound sometimes. Yeah, Rick, I'm doing good. I am in pain, and I'm trying to work. One-handed typist Rick, and I'm just being honest. And but my biggest thing is I'm trying to figure out how people orchestrate their own sanity. Not to detract at all from your pain and issues, but the reality is many suffer with that type of pain every day. So exhausting. You know what, Deborah? I do have a newfound respect for people like that. Any kind of thing. My mom suffered with neuropathy. She had diabetes, and she was in pain all her waking hours. And yeah, so you do have a lot more compassion with people, and that I don't feel like you're taking away from mine at all. I don't, because if anything, if you and me talking about that makes people see that it's different for people, then that's awesome, don't you think? That's the thing. I think I'm just kind of a naive dumbass. I really do believe. I really do believe that we're better than this. And I think that is one of the things about this whole thing that is, I mean, I admit I'm an idealist, and my eyes are blue, but my vision is rose colored. And I've seen too many amazing people and too many amazing things happen to think, and to think that we can't do better than this. Thank you for saying that. You have neuropathy? Oh my God, Deborah, I'm so sorry. Yeah, my mom, she lives in a retirement home, and they wanted to put her into the more cared living because she had to have her feet rubbed every night. And the ladies that worked in the care area where she was would just secretly go into her room at night and rub her feet so she could go to sleep. Yeah. When she died, who do you think the first person we thanked was? Arg, Rick, it's very difficult to remain balanced when the world around us is sideways. I know. I understand that. I understand it's hard to do that. But aren't the tough things in life what we're really supposed to be doing? What I hope that I learned My business coach said to me yesterday, she said, you know what, Rick, you need to take care of yourself because you've seriously injured yourself. My fingers are black and blue. Um, you know, I'm not being a crybaby, but they're black and blue. And I'm still trying to do my job and watch the world fall apart at the same time and see the anger in people. And it's just so taking care of myself. That's maybe why I haven't been doing as much stuff on here, is because I'm tired of the angry people. And I'm tired of being an angry person. I'll just be really, really super upfront with you. If I have I often think that our passion, gift, and our curse are the same thing. And mine is. My passion is that everyone should have a voice, no matter what they think. So why do I think that? Because when I was a kid, I wasn't listened to. I couldn't get people to understand what I was talking about. My parents, my dad mainly, and other people in my life. So that dysfunction created the man that I am today. So now we get a coronavirus. And now I'm voiceless. And I can't even tell you how it's that. And so when people get on here and act like, I'm being an asshole or something, it's like, no, you've just come against the very core of who I am. And, someone is controlling my world. And I feel silenced by that. Or people come on and say, I wish you'd do more positive stories. Well, maybe everything in life right now isn't positive, and maybe part of my voice is going to sound negative to you, but maybe I just have to do that. And maybe there's a whole bunch of people out there that really want to hear that and need to hear that. And so it feels like right now that there's a group of people that want to own the conversation. And that bugs the shit out of me. And so that's the main thing. So then, why am I feeling voiceless? I hope you had that on there. So I just said, because if I disagree with culture on some things, maybe the way some of this is being handled, then I'm bludgeoned to death by people who think that they want to paint me into a certain light, that I don't like people, I don't care if people die, all that kind of stuff, which is just not true. But it doesn't matter if it's true or not, because if they say it and they say it enough, they can try to discredit you, and that then takes away your voice. So that's how it works that way. And just even by me saying that, then there's going to be people who are going to go, see, he thinks they should open up and everybody should be able to do whatever they want, And that's the thing that scares me the most about COVID. It's not going away. It's not. It's a virus. You're not going to even look at the flu. We have vaccines for the flu every year. It's still there. I mean, it doesn't go, oh, the vaccine, the virus doesn't go, oh, we can't show up this year. They have a vaccine. They just keep going. And yeah, I agree, Scott. And I'm not as down as I sound, I don't think. I don't mind keeping it real, like Colleen said. You are real. You don't deal with the BS. Just speak the truth. Not everyone's going to believe the same thing. Exactly. And this is the truth. This is my truth. This is the truth as I see it, And yes, there's a whole bunch of things tainting that. And I can't wait tonight till you tune in tonight, because I'm talking without a mouth. It's because Kathy and I are going to tell you like a really super great story. And I think it will help you to orchestrate your own sanity. And I'm so grateful to have her with me doing this, because that's, kind of, you got to have people in your world. And I think that's the other thing about this is I miss, and I know you guys do too, relationships with people. Talking over the airwaves isn't the same. I miss meeting, and I am still, just to be really upfront, I am meeting with my friends. That's how we orchestrate our own sanity is, we're doing things carefully, but I got to do what I got to do. And if people don't like it, but see, that's the thing I think we are going to have a hard time getting over is that judgment. And that's, why can't people just do what they think is best for themselves and stay out of everyone else's business? Your truth is shared. Many thankful for you voicing it. Oh, you're welcome, Melinda. Well, I think the reason is because the state, the media, they've almost given permission to tattletale on each other and to make this so, such a thing that, it reminds me of history and things people did to other groups of people. I'll just leave it at that because I don't even want to say something because if people are going to go, Rick Dancer compared this to, but it sounds awfully familiar to me to movies I've seen about history. We are gonna positive this thing up. Soon it's cocktail hour. Yeah, no doubt. This has been an eye-opener and their learning curve to anything new, especially if it alters our lives. But this is our new reality. We can't go back. No one can. It's a dream to think anyone can ever go back to yesterday. I don't think we can go back to yesterday, but I don't think we have to go back to an inhumane way of living either. And I won't. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to hug. I will hug. I'm going to get close to people. I am not going to physically distance for the rest of my life. Not even 6 months. So the people who want to, physically distance for the rest of their lives, then that's your choice, but it's not going to be mine. I can't do that. And I don't think I need to. I can, and that doesn't mean I don't care about people, and that doesn't mean I'm trying to endanger anyone. See, those are the little lies that people put in to try to get everybody to be voiceless and to get in line and toe the narrative. I think we should all be creating our own narrative, like what positive things we can do. There's so many things we can do to help each other that I don't have to pay attention to all that. I mean, I am setting up some of the most awesome shows tomorrow night at 6:00. One of the victims of the problems with this COVID is taking money out of the state coffers, right? So the prison system is talking about, and I need to check this out, but they're talking about getting rid of death row. Well, I have 3 members of a family, of different families, who live in Washington State and all over the area. And they're going to come on our show tomorrow night. We're going to have Buck Sanitary Services going to sponsor the Buck Stops Here. And they're going to talk about back, I can't remember how long ago. I covered the trial, but I'm old. A young woman was raped and murdered. And her 2 friends, 2 boys, they're all teenagers, were also shot and killed up at Shotgun Park up by Marcola, and left for dead by a young man named Conan Hale. Conan Hale's on death row. But if the Oregon prison system does what it says it's going to do, they're going to shut down death row and put those people into the general population. Now, think about yourself being a family member whose child was brutally murdered and left for dead. And now The person responsible, convicted, and spending the rest of their life in prison is going to get freed from death row. So they're going to come on the show and they're going to talk about that and what that feels like. I think that's a great thing. I think giving them a voice is an amazing, great thing. And so they're going to be on tomorrow night at 6:00 from my home. They'll be in Washington State and all around. I have a program. I can get them all in there. And that is going to be amazing. And then on Thursday at noon, on our show called In Bed with Rick Dancer, Shelley James and Cal Coleman have agreed to go to bed with me. They're in their bed and I'm in my bed because of COVID. Otherwise, we'd all be snuggled nice and close and uncomfortably together in a bed, sponsored by Eugene Mattress Company. And they're going to play some music because they got a concert coming up on the 24th, I think it is. So they're going to be joining me tomorrow or Thursday in bed. And then over the weekend, my wife and I are going to the coast. We have a house in Pacific City. We need to go do some work. So people will shun me for going to the beach, but it's because I have to work on my house. So screw you. If you don't like it, go to hell. They're not letting him out, Vicki. They're taking him off death row and putting him into the general prison population, which I have several really good friends that I love dearly who have been to prison. And they said, if you take people off death row and put them in the general population, they got nothing to lose. People will die because these people they're there for the rest of their life. So what do they care? And they're going to kill people. And so that's something we as Oregonians need to talk about. And people don't like us to talk about that because it means that they have to be accountable for what they do and the decisions that they make. And then what do I have next week? I just talked to a gentleman on my Facebook page. I have a car wash show on Thursday. Tomorrow we're going to be at Elements Fitness Center too. They're going to show us what they have to do to open up a gym, which I find very interesting because I'm waiting for it to open up. So I think that'll be interesting. And then next week we will have on the car wash. I just talked to a gentleman who is a former, he was in jail, former drug addict. And he's on a page that I'm on called Attitude is Everything. And I said, would you just come talk to people? See, in my perfect world. So I wrote something this morning and I said, you know what, do you know what your purpose is? Do you know what you were put on this earth to do? I do. I'm here to give voice to the voiceless. And when I do that, the whole world is in sync. Okay, so that's what's wrong. My world is out of sync. God, that's good. So my world is out of sync because I've lost my voice to some degree. I feel like I've lost my voice to some degree. And my mission to give voice to others is harder. Now, is it really gone? No. Now that I'm thinking about this, okay, I'm processing with you. So really, I really have the opportunity to do more than I've ever done in my life, if I'm willing to do it. But when you do that, it's hard. And then there's things like that try to get in the way, try to slow you down and stop you. And so you guys are helping me. That is crazy. So, and it makes it hard to think, Dale, quite honestly. Yeah. It makes it hard to get my mind off the pain and onto what I'm really doing. But hard doesn't mean I can't do it. I just have to get my head in the game. So you guys gave me my answer. So maybe we all should do that, kind of look at ourselves and say, what was I put here to do? What's my purpose? What's my reason? What's my why? Why do I do what I do? And maybe some of our frustration is because lockdown is not natural. Fear, I know some people don't like that word, but it's true. Fear is not natural. Freedom is what we what allows us to do the things that we need to do. And when we're locked in house and which I haven't been, I was never locked down. No. But when things change like that, we have to find new ways to do it. So that's what I need to do, I guess. Is just find a new way to be me. And it's hard when you've been you this way for 60 years. And then it's hard not to get wrapped up in fighting it, because I want to fight. I want to fight for my right. But what I need to do, I think, is find my right in the midst of all this chaos and crap and public relations nightmare and fear. Okay. See how helpful you were? That was so nice of you. Oh man. So again, I'm not depressed. I'm frustrated. I'm in pain, and I'm learning to find the new Rick Dancer, or a new version of Rick Dancer. Thank you, Tom. Yeah, there's a storm, and so let me give you I'll give you a little analogy here. When I was going through some really hard stuff a few years ago, and I'm not trying to get religious on anybody, because that's not my thing. I love God, I love Christ, but I don't go to church. I don't care about religion. I could give a shit about showing up to any place. This is my church. This is what I do. But I had this dream, and it was like I was in a rubber raft, and I was on a sea, and it was really stormy. And I said to God, can you give me an oar? I'd like to row myself out of here. He said, Rick, here's the problem. I give you an oar, I only have one. And if I give you one oar, you're just gonna just go around in circles. You're gonna get nowhere. And so what I want you to do is just grab onto the little holders where the oar is supposed to go, the little hole that you can. And when the waves get really big, you just hold on, because you're not gonna fall out of the boat. And when it's calm, I'll move you in the direction I want you to move. And it doesn't mean I don't want you to be active. I want you to be actively doing what you do, but I don't want you to try to get out of the place you're in. That makes sense? So in other words, we have to learn to be active in the place where we are, not trying to get out of it. That doesn't mean we shut our mouths, we don't open our things and talk about it. It means that we be still and know that, we're in the right place. And you kind of, you actively float. And I think that's the whole lesson in my world right now, is how to be, when you love, you have to be doing something. It's an action word. If you're part of a community, that means you have to be active in that community. If you have friendships, you need to be active in those friendships. Scott, that is really sweet of you. Because sometimes you wonder, because I know there's people that think I'm just blubber and do what I do. But I also know that I get these personal emails from people that say, thank you so much for saying something, because that's me. And, each one of us have to do this the way we do it, and nobody can tell you. It's kind of like when I had cancer. There's a lot of people that told me how to do cancer. I didn't listen. I had to do it the way I did it. I didn't go get the treatment everybody else was getting. I did it a very Rick Dancer way, which drives sometimes my wife crazy. But So I guess that's another thing that's a little disturbing about COVID-19, reaction to COVID-19, is it feels like a big, huge box was opened up and all of us are supposed to shove in there and do it the same way. And I can't do that. And I do care about people and I'm not being selfish. I think the selfish thing needs to stop. The little comments about selfishness, because honestly, if you tell me I'm selfish because I go out and ride my bike or whatever and don't wear a mask, which you can't ride a bike and wear a mask, but you don't know that because you don't ride a bike. But maybe you're selfish because you're not allowing people to go back to work. And maybe you're selfish because you're not seeing the other person's perspective. Isn't that really what selfishness is when you think you're right and you can't give other people the benefit of the doubt. And because they're not doing things the same way you are, you then go with the company line that you're putting everyone in danger that way. Every place I go, I can't use a mask when I'm doing my video work because you can't understand me. And that part of my business is communicating. So yesterday I did an interview with some people and they had a kitchen where they're making food for people who are seriously injured, ill. So of course I need to wear a mask in there and I had one with me. And she said, Rick, I said, why don't we do the interview out here and then we'll walk in so people will know what we're doing. And if they don't understand it when we're here, we'll do it. She was like, Rick, that is such a great idea. That's how you do it. You compromise, you find ways to do this, but I'm not everybody. I'm not everybody else. So I can't do my business the way you can do your business. Thanks, Jason, buddy. I love you. You're a good man. And so give me the grace to do what I have to do and need to do. And I've had people say, then you should just be staying home. Well, I will gladly do that. If you would like, well, actually, I wouldn't gladly do that. I was going to say, if you want to pay my mortgage, if you want to pay my money into my 401k, if you want to pay for my groceries, I would do that. But you know what? I wouldn't. It's not who I am. I have to be here because Garrett and his wife at Northwest Burgers, I got them a lot of business because doing what I do. Helping my barber, helping my tattoo artist, helping the nonprofits I have. In fact, I'm looking for a business right now that really needs help and that needs to be promoted because I have such amazing clients that my client, Any Lab Test Now, she wrote me and said, Rick, you know what? I'd like to do our show at the lab, but I'd like you to find a business that really needs some help promoting and bring them with you. That's the kind of clients I have. So I'm not going to be able to do all of them. I can only do one. But if you guys know of a business that's really having a hard time and would need to be promoted for free, I have a client who will pay to do that. And that is why I can't stay home, because they need help too. They need somebody to be there for them. And quite honestly, they do so much for me and my attitude. Thanks, Jennifer. That's my sanity. I was 10 hours from dual hip replacement on March 18th. My pain level was extreme. Oh God, Paul, I'm so sorry. I received both hips. I was walking this afternoon, shocked, pain-free. Oh my God. Thursday, watched Friday, checked at PT and walking. Paul, congratulations, man. I can't wait to be there. Oh, Tracy, I'm not really. But would that be, I don't know if that, people already think I'm arrogant. So who gives a shit? I like who I am. I really like who I am. So that's what it is. So yeah, I do. I like who I am. I like what I do. I like how I get to help people. I like how I care about people. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. Did you get a haircut yet? Steve, I can't talk about it. I do have a haircut. Yes, I do. Um, I need another one, but my barber's probably going to be back in his shop in a week or so. Um, Jennifer, that's awesome. Jennifer says you might be arrogant, but at least you're real. No, Jennifer, I'm real arrogant. What it is, man, what it is, what it could be. Yeah, exactly. That's hilarious. Uh, Dana, I miss you so much. I'm still doing workout stuff, but not like Dana's my teacher. And I'm really concerned about when we go back, what that's going to look like. I have a feeling we're just have to find a new way of doing it, so we can all be there together. Um, yeah, Jason, I have no fear of that. I know, you know how you know when you're like when you're doing the. Do you guys? I don't know. Do you ever get in that rhythm where like this is why you were put here? Like Jennifer, I like you. Although I don't always agree with you, you always give me respect. My wife says the exact same thing. She doesn't always like me either. But you know what, Jennifer? The thing about people like you and me is if we do disagree, the great thing is we can come on here and we see the humanity in each other, and that's awesome that we can still get along like that. You know what I mean? This is what that honestly with you probably that's how it should be between you and me, and keeping people in check, and just making sure I understand that there's other people's ideas out there and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I want people I don't need everybody to agree with me. This isn't about Rick Dancer's world. It should be, shouldn't it? Oh, it should be. Yeah. Yeah, that's how the world should be. Whatever I need. Rick, if you worry about what other people think, you will never survive. I don't worry about what other people think. I really don't. I honestly do not. And that's probably part of my problem. Is because if you get on my page, you see things, but I'm trying to take care of myself, so I'm trying to have a little less of that. We will figure it out. Our class rocks. This will change. That will never. Yeah, it will be obnoxious. No way. It's Jennifer's world. Okay, Jennifer. You know what? I am willing. Okay, here's how we'll do this, Jennifer. In your world, I get 30%, and in my world, you get 30%. And then the rest of it, the other 70, it's all yours. And then everybody else on this page, they have to do what we want to do in our worlds. But when you're on my page, you only have 30%. That means you can come in here, but you can't run the show. And then when I come over on your page, you get to be queen and you can kick me out. So just so you know, and it's been officially notified here, Jennifer and Rick are taking over the world. So if you can apply, and we'll see if we want to let you into our world. But if you are someone who doesn't listen to anyone else, you're going to have a real difficult time because we have a very strict screening process. Jennifer, you're a nice lady. Thank you for your kindness and making me laugh a little bit. Lord help us. Yeah, exactly. All right. So here's the things I'm looking for. I am looking for a business that really needs to be promoted because I have a client that wants to help. And the other what's the other thing I'm looking for? Oh, and then tonight at 6:00, join us here for. Oh, thanks, Tyrone. You're great too. We're gonna have a happy hour show. We're going to tell you a really cool story and maybe give you some ideas. And I think it should be pretty powerful. We're both kind of really excited about doing this. So that'll be on our here from our home tonight at 6:00. All right. I'm going to go make some calls. You can share this if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. It doesn't matter. This is just between us. So if somebody can get value out of it, great. Otherwise, it was just you, me, and a little moment we had together. All right. This too is going to pass, and I'm ending everything this way. Not fun world to rule right now. No. COVID-19, you do not win. You do not win.